I'm nervous.
That's so that's so funny. I'm the one who should be nervous.
No, why would you be nervous? It's your podcast.
Because welcome to Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories, a podcast that shines a light on ordinary people and their extraordinary stories. From small towns to big cities, we're sharing the real, raw, and inspiring moments that connect us all. Because every voice matters, every story counts. This is Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories. Happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories. Today I have another extraordinary guest joining me, and this is somebody that not real familiar with, but she is an awesome person, and we met her recently, and she did big things for us. And so I wanted to have her on this show to share that experience as well as, talk about what she does. So please give a warm welcome to Sofia Calvin. Sophia, thank you for joining me.
Hello. Thank you, James. Thanks for having me here.
Of course. So, let me just start by giving background. So I know Sophia because Sarah and her linked up to plan our trip to Egypt. So if you go back to my other channel and check out the Egypt videos, that was all thanks to Sophia. All of the awesome guides we had, all of the awesome experiences we had, that was all due to awesome planning behind the scenes, with Sophia and Sarah. So thank you again for that. And
Of course, my pleasure.
let's dive into that a little bit. How does it how did you even get started in the travel industry?
Yeah, so I started in the travel industry back in 2017. I started working at a river cruise company.
Oh wow.
Just, at that time, it was just like, okay, I had recently moved up from Miami to Boston, and the job that I had gotten was traveling around the country.
That's
I got
awesome.
a little bit tired of traveling, and I said, okay, let me get a job that's a little more stationary, but I still wanted to do something in travel. So when I saw
That's
that
kind of
position,
ironic. Somebody in travel like getting tired of traveling.
it can be. I mean, that particular job, that job wasn't in the travel industry. It just required me to do a lot of
Okay,
traveling.
fair enough.
Um, and so I was home 1 week a month.
Oh wow.
And I was like, yeah, like it
That's
was a
rough.
lot of on the road, renting cars, going here, doing that, flying
Wow.
here, flying there. It was a great way to, knock a lot of states off of my bucket list,
That's
but
cool.
but it was a bit exhausting. But I like to travel. I've always been into travel. My family, we're a traveling bunch,
Now, real quick,
and
is
so
that travel
yeah.
that you were doing, was that like strictly business, or did they give you time to do what you wanted to do while you were in those places?
Yeah, so the good thing was that I would get to select which cities I wanted to go to. So I would make a list of like my top three places that I wanted to go.
Oh, cool.
And so yeah, I would think about it. I'm like, okay, well, what state do I want to go to? What city within that state do I want to
Sure.
go to? Because I would think of things that I would want to see or do in and around that area.
Absolutely.
So I would put together my list. I'd send it into the travel department, and then they'd come back and say, "Oh, we got your number one, or we got your number two,
Wow,
whatever."
that's cool.
Um, yeah, and then they would make the arrangements for flights and hotels, and the rental car reservation as well. So I, land, pick up my car, drive to my accommodations, and would have appointments that I would need to go to Monday through Friday.
Oh
And
man.
then on the weekends, I obviously was off. And there were times that I like when I went to Louisiana, I had put New Orleans, and they're like, "Well, we need you in Shreveport, which is the other side of the state." But then when the weekend came, I said, "Well, can you get me a hotel in New Orleans?" They're like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I drove from Shreveport over to New Orleans, spent the weekend
Cool.
there, and then went back for my appointments uh, in Shreveport, back to the
Wow.
other side of the state. So I did get to do things that I wanted, and then again see places that I wanted to see, and things like that. And my appointments were usually scheduled between like 10 a.m. to about 3 p.m., 4 p.m. So,
Cool.
uh, I would have plenty of time to really do things, and they weren't always back to back. So I'd get to discover restaurants for lunch, and
Yeah,
uh,
now
you
you're
know,
speaking my
if I
language.
had a big yeah, if I had a big gap, or even if I finished at, let's say, 2 o'clock, well, I have a whole lot of time. I can go to a museum, I can go a church, or what have you, things like
Wow. That's crazy. I get like the appeal of the travel, but I can see why you burnt out. That's a lot. Like, and only being at home a month a year, that's rough. I think like
Yeah, no, one week a month I would be home.
one
So,
week a month.
um
Okay,
one
okay.
week a month. One week a month. And I had a dog, and when I
Oh, the
first
poor
started,
guy.
yeah,
He probably
yeah.
missed you.
Yeah, she missed me a lot. I
Shoot.
missed her.
Yeah, of
And
course.
when I first started, I was like, okay, well, let me get a dog sitter, because it was like, well, let me feel out how this is going to be,
Sure.
what have you. And then, after a while, once I got really going in this, and this was really my regular routine, I really started to miss my dog. She started to
Yeah.
miss me. And so I started traveling with her, but then it just made things even more complicated.
Sure.
So it was like, oh, okay, now I have this dog that I need to make sure is being walked and fed, and
Right.
being taken care of, and such, while I was. So I did do that. We traveled with my dog for quite a few months. But then I was like, no, this is just really piling it on.
Sure. Yeah, that's a
I
lot.
want to be home. Like, yeah, I started to miss, my apartment, my friends,
Yeah,
my life,
absolutely.
and such. So yeah, I did have a bit of travel burnout. But again, it was a really great way to see the country,
Heck yeah, that's
when I did
awesome.
it, because even those weeks that I wasn't working, I could choose to be anywhere, right? So, I had moved from Miami, but I said, let me take my next assignment in Florida. So I got flown down. I went down to Miami, and then just drove back up to, I think, was Boca, when I had to work that week. So, there were ways to work in free time and vacations,
Cool. All right, so
things
I
into it.
interrupted you, and I apologize. I tend to do
No,
that a
it's
lot.
okay.
But you
No
had
problem.
you had moved up to Boston.
Yes.
What was Boston like?
So I grew up in Boston. That's
Oh,
where,
cool.
I like to say that's where I came to my senses. Was is in Boston, Brookline, actually. Brookline, go
How do
Warriors.
you not have the accent?
Yeah. I don't like the accent, so, um,
Okay.
I made sure that I don't have the accent.
You don't at all.
And no, no, I don't. I really, really don't. Once in a while, there are certain words that will come out, and people say, "Aha!" Like, there it
That's too
is. And
funny.
I'm like, no. Yeah, I'm like, no, no, please, please, please don't point it out. Like, but yeah, I grew up in Boston, and to even go back a little bit further from that, I'm originally from Costa Rica. So I was born in Costa Rica, moved to the
Wow.
States, when I was young,
That's
to
awesome.
Boston specifically. Yeah, so I'm also bilingual and all of that.
Oh, you go, girl. That's
And
badass.
yeah, and learned to speak English, and maybe that's why I'm so aware of not having the accent, because I had to learn English.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I pay a lot of attention as to how things are pronounced,
Oh,
how
sure.
people pronounce things in certain areas.
Yeah,
Regionals is what they're called, those regional accents.
that's really
Uh,
interesting.
and Yeah, yeah. I really love that world. And in college, like, I studied English, so words and speaking are just things that I really enjoy.
Very cool. Um, what's Costa Rica like? Do you
Oh
regularly go
yeah,
back?
yeah. So I was living there last year. I just moved back to the States in May of this year. Um, I was down there for for 14 months. And prior to that, would, you know, go and visit. Growing up as a kid, would spend our summers, things like that, down there. And yeah, decided that I wanted to go back and live for, you know, an extended period of time. Um, Friends, family, had a great time. Love going to the beach. Love going into the mountains. Love everything that Costa Rica kind of
That's
has
too
to
cool.
offer.
That's awesome. I would love to go there someday. That's
Yeah, it's a, you know, it's a very easy trip from the States. So, you know, it's in this hemisphere. It's just a few hours depending on where it is that you're coming from. But yeah, I mean, it is a nice winter getaway
oh, there you go. Now you're
for
speaking my
folks.
language again. We're on the same page. I love this.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You know, and it's a trip that can be done quickly. Like I would suggest being able to do 7 to 10 days, but even if you have 4 or 5 days, you can still go and enjoy yourself and have a pretty
Now, uh, aside from like the beach and the mountain scene, what else is there to see in Costa Rica?
There's a lot of hiking, waterfalls,
Oh,
the
cool.
cloud forest, rainforest,
Yeah.
lots of nature, lots and lots of nature. And I say that to also imply that there's a lot of bugs. So you want to be prepared. You want to be prepared. Make sure you have your spray, because you know we are actually a carbon neutral country. Costa Rica is a carbon neutral country. I believe it's the only one in the world that has a neutral carbon footprint,
Oh, I
and
love
that's
that. That's
because
so
of,
awesome.
yeah, because you know, maintaining the environment, caring nature, caring of animals, and all of this stuff.
Of
You know,
course.
being respectful of the land is very much intertwined into the Costa Rican
Oh,
philosophy.
that's great.
You know, hydroelectricity, all of that. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's impressive. That's
there,
incredibly impressive.
it is. It is. It's been. I believe it's now been 3 years that it's a carbon neutral country. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things to go do and discover and be a part of because it's sustainable travel, right? Is part
That just bumped up a
of
few
the whole
steps
Costa Rican.
on my travel list. That's awesome.
Excellent. Excellent.
I'm really
Yeah.
psyched to hear
Excellent.
that. Um,
Yeah. Absolutely. And a lot of people like to try surfing when they're there as
surfing. Wow.
well. Yes.
That's not typically a place
Yeah.
that you think of surfing when you think of surfing. It's like
Oh
Hawaii.
yeah, it's very big. Yeah, it's very big actually.
Cool.
Of the surf culture in Costa Rica for sure.
Cool. You seem to move a lot. How is that on you? That's got to be rough. Like I hate moving once in 10 years. I hate moving. How does you tend to be like a free spirit? How does that work for
Yes.
you?
I've been a nomad before nomads was a thing, right?
That's great.
I've I like discovering places. I like going and seeing something new. I like interacting with people, um, you know, of different areas and such. That's something that has always been huge to me. And I guess that's from growing up in a multicultural family because not only do we have the Latin culture in my family, where the part of Costa Rica that we're from was settled by Jamaicans, so we have a lot of Jamaican
Wow.
ancestry, Jamaican food, Jamaican music, Jamaican culture, and then we moved to the United States, right? So it was very Caribbean, and then it was very Latin, and then it was very American.
Wow.
So that whole thing of cultures and understanding different aspects of people, so always something that intrigued me. So yeah, I mean, you know, I have spent extended periods of time in Italy, as well, and uh, you know, I'm currently in Atlanta. So yeah, like,
Dang, you're just
you
all
know,
over the place.
being exactly, like going around and discovering and just interacting and seeing what life is like in different areas,
That's too
something
cool.
that definitely intrigues me, a lot, for sure.
Are you the only one in your family, or is there others in your family that are just like you?
No, I'm not the only one in my family. I'm probably the only one in my family that is as extreme as I am. I have my sister, my younger sister, she tends to enjoy doing a lot of traveling. My mom is a huge traveler. She's
Wow.
been to more countries than I have, and I've been to quite a few countries.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, it's kind of just engraved in us. My youngest brother, my baby brother, he likes to travel um, a lot as well. Um, yeah, and go places. And actually, my older brother as well. He's now really getting into traveling also. So yeah, it's kind of something that
So you're a
we
nomadic
all
family.
enjoy. No. I'm the nomadic one. They're definitely not nomadic.
So
They
they're
like
just
to go
planted.
and come back.
Fair.
Yes, and
That's
like
fair.
let's go enjoy that, and then come back.
Now, are they all in
Where I'm
Costa
like,
Rica?
yo, no, let's go live there.
Well, I mean, what better way to submerge yourself in the culture and learn the ways to actually get more than just a vacation experience? I get it.
Yeah,
That's really cool, and it's really nice to have that kind of a freedom. I
yeah,
think I admire that. Um, so let's talk about how you got into what you do
yeah,
beyond the river cruise thing. After the
yeah,
river
yeah.
cruise, how
Yep.
did
So I started working for the River Cruise Company. That was not necessarily the best environment. So I was like, okay, I think we should find something else. I personally never had any issues, but there were issues going around in the office. So I said, okay, let's change this environment.
okay?
And I ended up working at another company, but this company, they are more of a tour operator focusing on luxury, tailor-made travel.
Okay.
So it was completely different from what I had been doing before at the River Cruise Company. Um, and so this is where I really got my training, if you will, for my company that I have now. So we were country specialists, and so you have to have had traveled to the country before.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, to even be you had to have had travel experience to even be considered for the position. And I was an Italy specialist. I'd been to Italy. And then the great thing about that job was that you get a yearly FAM, and FAM is short for a familiarization trip. And so they gave us, and it was we started out as five and then ended up getting as high up as seven and then coming back down to six people. So we five of us got to go to Italy for a month with all expenses paid, um, everything, including them giving us a card and saying, "Here, use this for your meals. Go to a high-end restaurant. Go to a hole in the wall. Go eat gelato here. Go eat
Oh
tiramisu
wow.
there," and and all of the excursions, all of the activities, everything. It was amazing, of course.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know, to spend a month in Italy again free, but there was a purpose to the trip other than Sofia, go have a fantastic time. It was it was to it was work, and it was to inspect the hotels, and
Oh.
it was to meet guides, and it was to meet drivers and make contacts, and know what this wine vineyard is like, and know what this cooking class is like, so that when clients come to me, because everything is tailor made to the client, when they come to me and say, I like to do this, I like to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that, I can say, okay, this would be the right activity for them. This would not be the right one. You should try this, so on and so forth. Yes, I've stayed in this hotel. I can tell you that, this particular wing is better than that wing, or
Oh wow,
what
that's
have you.
awesome.
And those specific details that you're really only going to know from actually going and being there. I mean, Google's a great tool, but there's nothing like first-hand knowledge, that
Sure.
you really don't get that. And people are like, oh, well, there are reviews and such, but one person's experience has no indication as to how your experience is going to be.
That's very
um,
true.
so I do believe that people should share their experiences, but when reading the reviews, we should take them with a grain of salt because again, that's no indication of how your
Right.
trip is going to be. So, and when I go and inspect hotels, I'm not just inspecting one or two. Like we were in Milan and we had to inspect about 10 different hotels. Then you move on to Venice, you have another 10 there, another,
Dang.
like it's very, very detailed, very, some of the days were quite long and you're just like, okay, I'm tired of looking at hotels and, because it is work. And, when you post on social media, the great experiences that you have, you're like, oh, look at me, I'm climbing Pisa today, and I'm going, on this gondola in Venice the next day, and so on and so forth. But the running around and meeting of people and shaking hands and doing the room inspection, seeing the different categories of room, did that, saying, okay, we could use this one, we can't use that one. That part is work, and that's how I can provide not just a service of booking something for clients, but being being very specific to what it is that they're looking for because
That
I've put in the work on the ground.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds like an incredible business model, and clearly there's a lot of value in that for what you do now, right?
Yeah,
Like you got a lot
absolutely,
of value from that company, so that's really cool.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, so that was where again I learned how to get where I learned got that experience and brought that over to my business, to Story Travel, so that yeah, when James and Sarah come to me and say we want to go to Egypt, I'm like, oh, okay, great. You know what? I've been there. I went and I inspected all of these different hotels. I've done all of these excursions. I've done this. I've done that. I've seen it for you. So when you tell me this is what I want to do, this is what I don't want, I can say, okay, yep, I can put this in. This is what they'll like this, they'll like this, they'll like that, and
That's
be
so
able to
cool.
really tailor it. Yeah.
And
Like you guys went to Abu Simbel and flew from Abu Simbel or flew from you flew to Abu Simbel and then back to where you were. When I did it, I took the miserable almost 8-hour drive to get
oh,
to Abu Simbel, which is how I know that it's better to fly.
sure.
Not only was it long and not fun, it was crack of dawn, and I said, this is exactly the experience I don't want my clients to have.
That's
So,
too cool.
yeah, so that is what makes the difference because it's really those details that
Yeah,
really make
yeah,
a
yeah.
trip memorable and fantastic. Like you're like, I spent 8 hours on driving to Abu Simbel. No, you're like, I got to go to Abu Simbel. It was great, but we just flew and flew out. Bah,
Yeah.
done. you know, and most people um, are not. They don't know those little details that are going on
Yeah,
in their
yeah.
design.
So,
Yeah.
what does it look like when you go down to a new place, and how do you start meeting these people who are going to be your future contacts down there, the people that you're entrusting your future travelers to? How does that go?
Yeah, I mean, and that comes to the whole behind the scenes of the agency. We are part of a consortia, and that consortia has um, they have a certain amount of vetted suppliers, if you will. But and that's one resource. That's not the only way that I find who I'm going to work with.
Oh, okay.
Um, believe it or not, I've actually met some suppliers via social media.
Oh, wow.
I have a travel page, and they're like, well, we're offering this. Um, would love to have a conversation. We'll do a Zoom call. I'm thinking of one in particular that I went to Tanzania when. So he reached out to me via Instagram. We connected, had a Zoom, got to talking, really found out that I like the energy of this person. I like what his company is standing for, how he gives back to the community and such. And so we arranged for a fam trip, a familiarization trip for me to go to Tanzania and again inspect everything, get that firsthand knowledge, see the level of service that he provides and such. And had a wonderful safari, had a wonderful time, and said, okay. this is also the type of companies that I want to work with, that are smaller, mom and pop companies that are offering spectacular service, but they don't have that big name,
Sure.
and they're giving back to their community. So we want to make sure that we have a nice mix of, yes, we have these higher, well-known companies. We can always access them, but I want to also work with people that are that smaller mom and pop,
That's really
company.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you need to have a balance, right? And I like to work with women owned companies. I like to
Yeah,
work with
absolutely.
black owned companies. I like to work with companies that are doing something, that are giving back to their local community. So I have different things that I can tap into, and then also going to travel shows. Like, I just was in India. Um, Today's Halloween, so yeah, earlier this month, I was in India, and the purpose of that was to, again, it was a fam trip to get to know India, the different activities, the things that you can do. Um, Obviously, go to monumental places that we're all familiar with, but to go to a travel show as well, and go and meet and talk to vendors and suppliers, and make that connection, and make a note. Okay, this one had something that I particularly like. Okay, this one might put that one on the back burner. And so, to their events, their meetings, their social media, there's a network that you can tap into, and then from other travel advisors as well. Like, hey, you're really good at this. I see that you worked in this particular country. Who do you use when you need to send a client there? Who do you,
Oh, that's cool.
talk to, so we can go and do a fam, and get to know the area, and such. So yeah, you get to do fun things, but it is also, as well, because you want to sift through what companies are aligned with what
Sure.
you're looking
Well, I really appreciate and respect your business model because it's very atypical. It's not a corporate
for.
structure. It's not money,
Yeah,
money, money. It's, hey, let's help the little
yeah,
guy. And I respect the heck out of that because not hardly anybody does that. And it's such an admirable quality.
absolutely.
Um,
Thank you.
it makes me super happy to see that you're succeeding because more companies and businesses like you should.
Thank you.
We need to boost women owned companies. We need to
Hmm.
lean towards sustainability. We need to, make
Hmm.
things better for smaller communities. And I respect
Hmm.
all of that because,
Thank
corporate
you.
greed is a real thing and it's a real bad thing. And it would be really nice to eliminate that. So the more of you we
Yeah,
have around, the better off we are, I feel. So,
absolutely. And there is quite a bit of us out here. Yes, again, we do have partnerships with bigger companies, but there's so many travel advisors that want to tap into locals of that area, and how we can make things better for them,
sure.
while providing what our clients are
Well, and that's not to totally diminish the quality of service and whatnot that you're going to get from these bigger companies because they are bigger for a
looking.
reason. They
Right,
started off as
right,
a small company, so yeah. But
correct.
not all of them are bad, but the majority of them are not great. We'll just say that. um,
Yes,
so
I don't disagree.
So our trip to Egypt was phenomenal, and it makes me think of you going for a fam trip, for instance.
Hmm.
As a single woman traveling to a new place to meet new people, what kind of securities
Hmm.
and safeties are in place for you? Like, what protections do you put in place for yourself, or does your company? Well, I mean, obviously it's your company, but what do you back
Right.
yourself with to make sure that you're going to get to a place and there's not going to be anything shady happening?
Yeah, yeah, that's actually a really, really good question. I went to back in March of this year, or even before then. I think it was like January or sometime, maybe even December of last year, that someone reached out to me on LinkedIn, and they're like, okay, we're having this conference, da da da. We'd like to invite you to come and meet suppliers, so on and so forth. I was like, okay. I mean, it sounds interesting, because we sometimes our travel can go anywhere from super discounted to not really discounted to free trips, right? And so they were talking about a minimal cost trip. It wasn't free, but it was damn near free.
Nice.
um, yeah, and so I'm like, okay, well, that all of that is really exciting, but I had not heard of this company. I, didn't know anything about this conference or anything like that. Again, that's when I started to tap into my travel advisor community. Reached out, hey, have you heard of this? Are you familiar with that? Are you okay? Yeah, I've heard of that. And then obviously I look to see who else they're kind of connected with, but not only to see who they're connected with on LinkedIn, but reach out to those people and have conversations and say, okay, have you dealt with them? Have you experienced this? So on and so forth. Do you know of anybody? And they're like, oh no, yeah, yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty legit.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so that's one way. I hardly ever go to an absolute brand new country without working with some kind of partner in that country. For as adventurous as I am, I'm not just gonna get on a plane, land somewhere, and say, okay.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
that sounds good.
yeah, because there are precautions that you need to take. Travel is great, but there are cultural things that we need to keep in mind that
Oh, yeah, of
may seem
course.
okay from where we're from, but not there. It's something as simple as you know even when we take out our phones to record a video or take a picture, like is that acceptable here? Is this something that we want to do? Do we want to kind of flash around our $1,000 telephone in this environment
Oh, that's
where we
interesting.
are? Yes, I mean, all of these things need to be taken into considerations because we're going into another land, right? We're going someplace where it might be insensitive. It might be nothing might happen, but it could just be in poor taste, right? Or what
Okay.
have you. So I always work with a partner when going to a new area. So when I went to India, I worked with a company and made a partnership with them. Lots of Zoom calls, confirmations of things, not just saying, okay, yep, they said this, okay, cool, that's good enough, and then confirming what they're saying and such. So, there is vetting, if you will, on my part of not just who I'm going to work with, but is this company legitimate as well? There are associations that you want to be a part of that does give companies legitimacy that I can say, okay, they're part of ASTA or they're part of, all of these different uh, organizations that are out there and not just, some random person reaching out to
Sure.
me and
And
then,
there's got to be standards in place for those companies to
correct,
join the bigger group or whatever.
correct,
Okay.
correct. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
There,
I'm
there
glad
are.
you're
So yeah,
think
so we do our vetting process.
that's awesome. But I'm glad you're thinking of all these smaller things because thoughts like that wouldn't even have crossed my mind. Like if I'm thinking about traveling to a new place, I'm thinking about what I'm going to
Hmm.
see. I'm thinking about what I'm going to
Right.
eat, where I'm going to stay.
Yep.
Is there going to be this? Is there going to be that? It doesn't cross my mind.
And
Hey,
as
should
a
I pull out my phone? That's
Yeah, as a
crazy.
traveler, that is what you're going to think about, right? That is exactly what you're going to think about, and that is what you should think about it, and that's why, we at Story Travel we do a before you go call just to kind of prep
Yeah.
our clients as to what to expect. A place like Egypt, when you're traveling there, it is an agreement that the U.S. government and the Egyptian government have security
Yeah.
for American travelers. And you're not thinking security. Like, what do you mean? I'm just a regular person. I don't need security. but when you go there, you have security.
Yeah. Tons of
And
it.
I mean, yeah, yeah, exactly. And honestly, I was a little embarrassed by it because again, I'm like, I don't need security. Like, I'm not
Who am
Beyonce. Like,
I?
yeah, like, here's this guy, you know, really incognito, but he is armed if necessary. He's there to protect us, and these are just things that we're not thinking about, we're not expecting. So again, I do the before you go call to prep our clients to just tell you what to expect, right? Maybe what can be insensitive in this area or what have you. Um, and just how to handle yourself in this country or this culture that you are going to, because it is different, and they're not things that you think
Yeah,
about. You want to be respectful, you want to be considerate
of
of
course.
where you're going and what you are, and even what you don't have any control over, like having security. You want to be aware, and you're not just like, okay, why is this guy here?
Who do they
So
think I am?
yeah.
No, that's really cool. It's
Yeah,
you do a lot. There's a lot of behind the scenes that people don't even realize,
there is.
and that's I'm really glad you're
There
talking
is.
about this because that's it makes I guess what we're paying you for more
Mhm.
valuable than the actual
Absolutely.
currency we're exchanging. I think that like the
Correct.
legwork you've done makes every penny that you earned for us worth it,
Yeah.
and tenfold.
Thank
Like
you.
I would, we're stuck with you for life. I'm sorry, you're not getting rid of us. So if we're traveling,
Perfect.
we're going
Perfect. No
through you,
complaints.
and
No complaints.
you
No
know, some
complaints. And that is the purpose, James. Like that is the purpose of what why I'm traveling. It's not just to go to these places. It's like,
oh come
how
on,
can
don't
I
lie.
deliver?
I'm just
I mean,
kidding.
I want to go to these places. Of course, I want to go to these places. It's great. It's fun, right? I love collecting costume stamps. But it's also about how am I able to provide the best service. And like you said, all of this stuff that we're talking about now, it's all happening behind the scenes.
So
You
crazy.
had no idea of half
No,
of the stuff that I just told you about your own trip. So
no, I did
you
not.
know, this is for travel advisors. We are here for you to have a seamless time traveling. You're not supposed to know. Things change behind the scene, even with your set itinerary, right? This is travel. Anything can happen at
Yeah.
any point in time. And it's like my job and my partner's jobs is, we communicate while you guys are traveling. Like, okay, no, this is fine. Okay, are you gonna be everything's gonna be good? Okay, great, perfect. That's not gonna be able to happen. Okay, what can we put in place so that they have a similar experience? They don't feel like they're missing out.
Wow.
All of these things are happening. All of these things are happening. If you're booking, things on your own, which obviously you can, that technology is available. But if something cancels, if there's any kind of emergency, what have you, you're stuck and you're just like, well, what am I going to do now? Okay, well, I'll just wander around. Well, no, I'm still going to find what I can replace that experience with for you that's going to be equally as great. And you're not going to be none the wiser
That's too
because it's
cool.
just going to happen.
Well, now I feel like we underpaid you because you were on call that whole time.
Well, you can pay me more. You can pay me more if you want.
Don't worry, you're going to get it in
I'm
the
not
back
opposed
end.
to that.
You're going to get it with all the future travel that we have planned. So don't worry.
Perfect,
It's
perfect.
coming your way.
That's all I need. Yeah, that's all I need. Because again, seamless, and nobody likes to think about things happening on their vacations,
Of
but
course.
things happen every day,
Right.
right? Just because it's your vacation, you know, does oh wait, they're on vacation, nothing's gonna happen. No, it
Yeah.
doesn't work that way, right? Like life happens, and so
Yeah.
um,
And not just for us,
to be able,
everywhere. So,
yeah, for everywhere, exactly. So being able to know, oh, I have someone in case of anything, overtly, that we're here. There, our in-ground partners are there
right.
for you, and there's somebody for you to tap into, and not just like, okay, what do I do now?
I feel like, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I feel like Americans are super entitled when it comes to travel. I feel like we
Mm,
expect other countries to cater to us, which is not at all how it should be.
absolutely,
Like when people from other countries come here, we certainly don't like change our ways for them. So
exactly.
it really kind of irks me when I see people in these other countries doing things that I'm like, come on, like we're not at home. You shouldn't be doing things like that. That's have a little respect. Try
One
try
thousand
something new.
percent.
Like, and who
Yeah,
doesn't like new
1,000%.
experiences? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
there are people that don't, they're people that, will come to me and I mean, we tend to deal more with an experienced traveler that is looking to have a cultural experience and not
Yeah.
just, a 6-day Mexico package or something.
Sure.
We don't tend to get that, but I have had clients that are like, well, wherever you put my hotel, make sure that there's a McDonald's.
Oh my
And I'm
god.
like, oh,
That's not
okay,
even a
so
good standard to have. Like, what? Oh God! Did you say
yeah,
McDonald's?
yeah, 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 yeah. Or maybe not McDonald's, but some American food
No, I get
chain.
it.
They're like, and I'm just like, well, why? You're going to be doing this amazing, cooking
Yeah,
class or this, that,
yeah.
but they want to, I don't know, make sure that they have that close by just in case they have that urge. I'm not sure. So,
I mean, to
and
each
again,
their
because we're
own.
tailoring everything, because we're tailoring something, even when I go to someplace to visit, I'm like, where are the fast food places? How far are
Wow,
they from the hotels? That like these are all things. These
that's
are all things
awful.
that we look at.
I mean,
These are all things that we look at and consider.
it's really cool that you do that, but how awful! Like, I gotta go find a McDonald's. Ah.
Yeah.
there's
Uh,
there's
you
so
know.
many awesome different foods and different things to see and places to eat and ways to eat for
Yeah.
that matter. Like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't you want to experience that? You're certainly not
Yeah.
going to do it in the States. That we have
Yeah.
standards
Exactly.
here that meet people's entitlement. So,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not going to get those cool cultural experiences anywhere else but those countries. So if you're going, why waste your time
Right.
going to a McDonald's? That doesn't make any sense anyway.
I
To
agree
each
with
their own.
you. I agree with you. I agree with you. Exactly. To each their own. If that's what the client is looking for, well, we're gonna make sure that we put them in a property where they can walk to something
Oh
they're
God.
more familiar with, I guess.
Okay, so let's go back to you were working with the company that gave you all these
Oh yeah.
valuable tips. I want to
Yes.
see how did that translate into you starting your own company.
Yeah. So October 26, 2019 is when I registered my company name, and
Wow.
I said, okay. It's something that I knew I always wanted to do. I just figured I would do it later on down the road. It's not going to be happening right now. I'm going to stay where I am. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to, keep moving forward. Well, then March of 2020, a global pandemic came
Ah,
and shut
boo.
the world down.
Yep.
So even though I registered the name that October, I certainly wasn't expecting, a pandemic to come. None of us were. And which obviously that was really interesting. As I said before, I was an Italy specialist with um, my company, and Italy was the first country outside of China to get hit with COVID.
Oh,
So yeah, it was like being kicked in the stomach.
dang.
Just, really dealing with all of the phone calls, all of everything that was coming in, because Italy was the number one division in this company because everybody wants to go to Italy. So we were
Yeah.
literally the largest team for the company. And then boom, again, the pandemic the COVID starts hitting in Italy back in like late January, February, around that time. So we're trying to just calm people's nerves, because they're like, well, what's going on with my trip? What's going on with my trip? And it's like, okay, which is actually a really good learning experience as well, to learn how to handle
That's intense.
and calms people's nerves, especially with something where you don't have any answers
No kidding.
at all.
Nor
There was
control.
no precedence. Yeah, no precedence to this, no
That's
control, no
crazy.
nothing. So the company worked out a system that we worked through, which was deal with people that are in country first, bring them home, and then work by departure date, right? So if you're traveling in October and we're in March, we're not talking to you until much later. But
Oh,
if
sure.
you're in country, we need to get you home. Like we're bringing you back. So, which again, something I learned that I can apply to my business. But then in April, so we were locked down, working from home, remote. But then in April, I was laid off. I was
Oh
laid off
man.
from the company. I mean, the last thing people were doing was traveling. you
Yeah,
know,
that makes sense.
nobody was traveling. We were not getting, you know, sales calls. People weren't calling us for travel for them to go. They're
Dang.
just wondering about their deposits and this and that. And then, of course, initially the company started refunding people, but then that wasn't sustainable because they need money to maintain employees. And
Of
so
course.
all of these employees, we need to kind of cut this down. Unemployment was very generous at that time, and so, for a lot of people, it was actually better to be unemployed uh, than to be working. And so they laid me off. I was one of the people that they were laid off, and then they said we all had to sign like an NDA.
Uh-huh.
Um, or non-compete, I should say. Yeah,
Oh,
non-compete.
that's awful.
Yeah, you sign a non-compete, but with the pandemic, they actually said we're not going to enforce this non-compete. If you can find a job in travel, we're not going to stop you. You go ahead, no problem, fine,
Oh,
go, so on and so forth.
wow,
And
that's nice.
so, yeah, and I was like, huh, okay, well, um, I have this little business that I registered. Everything was online. So there were all of these different companies that were doing trainings, online trainings, and still talking about travel and such. So, I'm like, okay, let me jump onto this webinar and jump into that one. And of course, the algorithm recognizes that this is what I'm doing. And so it starts pushing all of these different travel companies and things to me. And I came across a marketer that works only with travel advisors. And I started watching her, and even watching her growth has been amazing as well, because she started just filming in her closet, and now she like has this amazing company.
That's great.
um, yeah, but she was the one that started encouraging us to, this is going to pass. Like, as terrible as everything seems now, this is going to pass. Keep talking about travel. Keep talking about travel. And in my case, I had set up a separate page, social media page for Story Travel. But I hadn't posted anything about travel because I didn't think I would be doing that till much later. But I started posting about travel and just kind of talking about places that I've been or places that I like. And started very slowly. And I was like, okay, but then kind of picked up my own momentum. As a family, we went to Myrtle Beach in September of 2020. So now this was a great opportunity to talk about travel. Like, we were flying, so I was, showing what the airports were like at that time, what travel looked like
Yeah.
during that time. So that had a nice, cute little response. But then October, the my birthday is in October,
Happy
and
birthday.
I thank you. Yes, it was on the Monday, the 28th. So yes, thank you. But I called my mom, half a bottle of wine in. I called my mom at like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, Mom, do you want to go to Turkey on Monday? And she's like, Sophia, what are you talking about? There's a global pandemic. Like, I'm like, Turkey's open. Okay, like, we can go to Turkey, and I had been to Istanbul before, but I hadn't been around the country, and my mom had never been. So I was like, "Come on, let's go, let's go." So she's like, "Fine, if you take care of everything and have everything ready, then yes, I will go with you. When are you looking to go?" I'm like, Monday. I told you Monday. So, needless to say, I got all excited and I finished the bottle of wine and went to bed and woke up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh.
And, Turkey is what, 6, 7 hours ahead of Eastern time. So it's now like 6, 7 o'clock at night over there. And I just reached out to someone I knew at a company. And I said, listen, I'm trying to get to Turkey on Monday. Can you help me? And she's like, of course I can. Let me put you in touch with this person. And over the weekend, we put together the itinerary, telling them what I like, what I didn't like, what would be cool to do, and so on and so forth. Changed a few things around. They couldn't even process our credit card till Monday. And I'm like, well, I promise you that the funds are there. You just need, we'll wait for you to process on Monday, but we can't wait for the payment. Like we need to fly now because we had already purchased our tickets and everything. They're like, okay, yeah, okay, we'll try it on Monday. I'm like, yeah, yeah. It was something on their end. Um, and so they like my mom and I are at the airport and get the text from them. They're like, okay, yeah, the payment went through. We're here. Everything's fine. So we got on the plane. Oh, before even getting on the plane, you had to have a
A
COVID
COVID
test.
test, yeah.
Uh, yeah, you had to have a COVID test. So um, we had went and gotten COVID tests at the doctor, at my doctor's office. But no, I'm confusing stories here. No, so we had the COVID test. Yeah, we had the COVID test. We got on the plane and landed in Istanbul. And at that point, everybody was watching my stories, my social media
Heck
on
yeah.
Facebook, on
That's
Instagram,
awesome.
because nobody else was traveling. My mom and I, the only ones like traveling, and even eyes that I had never seen. Before they were like, oh, look, somebody's traveling. Let's take a look at their stories. So it really gave my business the boost that it needed.
That's so cool.
Um, you know, at that point, we spent 10 days and so people would reach out and send messages like, oh my gosh, you're traveling. What was this procedure like? What was that like? What is hotel availability? What are prices? And, people just started reaching out, inquiring about travel. And that's really, what got things moving in my business and really got storied travel like up and
That is
running.
so freaking
So
cool.
that's the genesis of the
That's
company.
so cool. You turned such a negative thing into this huge, massive success, and that's way
Yeah,
admirable. That's so cool. Um,
yeah, it was great. It was exciting to get that feedback too, because I wasn't doing it to have people reach out to me. It was just like my birthday's coming. I always travel for my birthday. Why? Well, why can't I travel this year? Wait, Turkey's open. Mom, will you go? Okay, boom. So from Friday to Monday, we
that's
we
so
were we were
cool.
gone.
That spur of the moment travel. That's
Yeah,
incredible. And speaking
yeah,
of Turkey, there's a lot of historic stuff there I want to go see. So
yes.
that's going to be a future one
Turkey
too.
Turkey is a fabulous country to visit. I mean, we did religious things, historical things, bougie things. It was great. We had a great time.
And how many similarities are there to Egypt?
A lot. So all of that, and my mom had actually at that time she had been to Jordan and Israel. So
Oh
when
wow.
she went to Turkey, no, so my mom had already gone to Jordan and Israel, and then we were in Turkey, and then we went to Egypt together. So all of that is all kind of holy land, religious land, all tied in together. And my mom kept saying, "Oh my gosh, it looks like, you know, Jordan, or it looks, we're in Egypt. Oh, this reminds me of what we saw in Egypt, in Turkey, and so on and so forth."
Oh, that's
It's
so
all
cool.
intertwined. It's all, yeah, it really is. It's really really interesting. And I'm not an overly religious person, but you're in Ephesus, which is the book of Ephesians is based off, and you're at the house of the Virgin Mary,
Yeah,
and
that's
you're like,
crazy.
okay, maybe there is something to this, you
Yeah,
know?
sure.
It makes you think. And then you go to Egypt and you go into the church where the Holy Family went into hiding during during whatever was going on. Again, I'm not the most religious, but
Same. Don't worry. But I
yeah.
know what
So
you're talking
but
about.
it is all tied. Yeah, it's all tied together, and you're like, oh, okay, wait. So now I've been in the Virgin Mary's home, and now this is where, they came when Jesus was 10. Okay, and
Oh,
then it is all tied in, and it is quite interesting to hear the stories,
sure.
and kind of see. them tied in together within these different countries that you're traveling.
Well,
So yeah, it is quite interesting.
we're not at all religious, but from a historical
Yeah.
aspect, that still sounds awesome to
Yes.
do. Just to go see these
Yes.
places that are
Yeah,
written about.
exactly. Exactly. And in Turkey, being at well, they call her Mother Mary. So being at Mother Mary's house, you're just like, okay, just again, take out the religious aspect out of it. You're like, how the hell did they build this stone house here when there were no cars? There were no
No
cars. They
cranes.
used like you know no cranes, and so yeah, you really start to break things down on another level
Yeah.
from the norm. Because honestly, I'm like, how did they do this? How? Because it's quite far from where they say things happen to where the house is, and I'm like,
Wow.
okay, but yeah, yeah, it's really interesting, and those are things that you're only going to learn from traveling or experience from traveling.
That's too cool. So, out of all the travel that you've done, what's been your favorite?
Yeah, that's always the question, and it's really difficult to
Oh
answer a
yeah.
favorite or least favorite
Sure.
because you know I I travel without expectations. I think that when you have a whole lot of expectations set up, that's when you're more tend to have disappointment. And so,
Okay.
I try to not have that. And then I try not to uh, overly research things either. Like, I don't want to know every single aspect of everything because I still want to have surprise when
Oh,
I
cool.
get there and have that awe
Yeah.
when I get there. So, it varies. I mean, I loved Bali. Bali was fantastic, right? It was my first time being on the other side of the world, like literally other side of the world.
That's too
From
cool.
Boston, it's 12 hours. So it was, when it was morning in Bali, it was nighttime in Boston. And the part that moved me was watching the sunset is a really big deal in Bali. So watching the sunset and knowing that it was going to wake my mom
Oh, wow.
was really kind of like, oh my gosh, like this is touching. Like, the sun is setting, but on me, but
That's
it's going to wake up my mom. Like my mom and sister, they're just about to get up and go to work, and like, and that was awe-inspiring for me. Being in Egypt, being on the Nile River was awe-inspiring for me
same.
because kings and queens have been on their pharaohs, right? And so
Yeah.
I just reached into the water and let it run through my fingers,
I did the same.
and
That's awesome.
like you're just like, oh my gosh, like I'm on this roadway too. Like, this has been here from the beginning of time, and
Yes.
these majestic people have been on here. And look, yeah, I'm here too. So it's not like I have a favorite or a least favorite. Um, I take everything for the experience that it is,
Okay,
and
well,
for what it can be.
let me rephrase it then. If you had to pick a country outside of the US to live forever, where would that be?
I've always said I would go back and live in Bali. Italy is a place I would love to live. I want to explore a whole lot more of Africa. I've only been in two African countries as of right now, um,
Which ones?
and I want so Egypt and Tanzania.
Oh, okay.
So I want to explain that because being in Tanzania felt like a big warm hug,
Oh, wow.
and I loved it. Again, my mom was with me on that trip. I tend to
Nice.
travel quite a bit with my mom,
Nice.
and it just felt like a hug. There was a lot of ingenuity that I didn't expect in the country, because we get shown just negative things about Africa or minimal things about Africa. Like, we just kind of think of, you know, hungry people, not a whole lot of technology. And then we get there and it's like a city and sky rises and,
Oh wow.
you know, Kigali in Rwanda is the most technologically advanced city in Africa. And it's very hip. It's very modern. It's a very lot of movement. So, it's actually on my list to visit in 25.
Cool.
Um, and it's just, I turned around and said to my mom, we are fed the wrong image of Africa. Africa's projected wrongly to the world.
Yeah.
And so people need to go and explore, go on safari. It's amazing to see these animals in their environment up close. You're like, wow, I've seen that in the zoo, but this is totally
Yeah,
different being
totally.
here. Being in Zanzibar on the beach in Zanzibar was absolutely stunning. This white sand beach, crystal clear Indian Ocean, it
Wow.
was amazing to me.
That's so awesome.
And you don't think of going to the beach in Africa, right? Like you don't think of that, but hello, there's beautiful beaches there. It's amazing. So that's one part of the world that I want to discover more, and one that the places that I've been to really left me like, oh gosh, this is amazing. This is incredible. I really want to go there and explore. But I mean, I have not been to a place that I wouldn't. I want to live everywhere. So
That's fair.
I want
That's fair.
if I could spend 3 months, even a month in as many countries as possible, I'm all for it. Like I would totally do it. Um,
Okay, well, good answer.
I don't know, but yeah, okay,
Um,
yeah, that's how I feel about that.
so you've been super generous with your time, so I'll keep this short. But I have a couple more questions. I want to know
Sure.
all the places you've traveled. What's all of the countries you've been to?
Okay. Okay. Let's
Start
let's
by
start
continent.
with okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Costa Rica. I've been in Chile. Been in Argentina. Been in Colombia. Briefly went to Panama. Been in Nicaragua. U.S. Canada. Okay. So there we got that. Then
Nice.
we have uh, we have St. Kitts, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Iceland.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, okay, Iceland. Okay, so now we're jumping over to Europe. So I've been in Denmark, I've been Portugal, Spain, France, the Netherlands, Italy. I'm trying to visualize the map in my head. Okay, let me go further down. Then we have Egypt, we have Tanzania, and then we have Turkey. We have okay. I guess now I jump over. I feel like I'm missing a lot right here. And then so I've been to Indonesia, which is Bali. I've been in Japan. I've I need to pull up my app. I actually have this information in an app.
Oh, that's too cool.
Yeah, there's an app called Bin, like Been.
Yeah, I have
Um,
it. I haven't been
yeah.
anywhere, but I have it.
um, so and yeah, okay. So let me open that up
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the
because
spot.
yeah,
I'm just
no,
really
it's okay. It's
curious.
like there's quite a few of them. I feel like I'm missing some, but those are the ones that are coming to mind. So yeah, I guess I've explored most of Europe more than any other area, and then for like 25, I'm talking to go to Ethiopia,
Uh huh.
and then Kenya is also looking at that for 25. Um,
Do you have prospects?
Rwanda,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Rwanda also. Go ahead.
Do you have any interest in going to South Africa, Johannesburg, and all that?
Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. That's actually been there.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yes. So yeah, so I've been there already. Forgot about that one. One place I'm dying to go is the Philippines that I have not been.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, Philippines is definitely huge on the list. I've been in Thailand.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, I haven't been
Singapore?
to Australia. Haven't been to Singapore. No, I haven't been to Singapore.
I've heard Singapore is awesome.
Yeah. there's there's 195 countries recognized by the UN, and I've been to about 30 plus of them.
Oh, well,
There's
you got
still a
some work
lot
to
of
do.
worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a lot of worlds for me to visit.
That's
So
awesome. Okay, last question. What's
yeah.
your 10-year plan look like from here? What do you how do
Ah,
you see your business growing? How do you see your personal life growing? What are your ambitions? And this is all hypothetical. You don't have to, spot
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. I what we're talking about is living in Europe. Within a relative short time frame, to Europe, and that would be fantastic because that would be a great bouncing off
Yeah,
point
of
for me
course.
to go and explore different places. I want to just continue to grow my agency. We're now boutique. We have three advisors other than me that work with me,
Cool.
and just kind of keep growing on that aspects, training them, building them up to. Be fantastic advisors as
Yes.
well so that they
Yes.
can have that firsthand knowledge as well when they're designing trips for their clients and their destinations. And I just honestly continue to discover the world, right? Like that's so necessary for me. It's
Absolutely.
I can't just be still. Like I just that would be death for me. So
Well, I love it.
you know,
That's
people ask me all the time, they're like, where are you? They don't ask me how am I, they're like, where are you? So
that's awesome.
you know, yeah, where are you celebrating your birthday? I got that a lot this week because my birthday was this. They're like, we don't know where you are, but happy birthday. So
Man, people should be so lucky. That's awesome.
yeah.
Well,
That's my plan.
that's great. It sounds like an awesome plan, and I hope to help your business continue to grow. And I will do my best to put
Thank
out the
you.
word, as I know Sarah does too.
Thank you so much.
No, you're
Yes,
awesome,
thank
and
you so much.
you did really well with us on our first trip and my first international trip. And I mean, I couldn't have asked
Oh,
for
nice.
more. So yeah, it was great.
Excellent. You had a really nice Austin trip because you guys, you even traveled business class. You had
Yeah,
fabulous.
which I highly recommend. I know it's an
Yes,
investment, but man, is it worth it? It makes a huge difference.
James, you are never going to be able to travel any other
Oh,
way.
I'm spoiled. I know
you,
it.
you started you started at the very
I
top.
set the bar too high. And then I got to go in
Yes,
the
you did.
cockpit of the airplane while we were
Yeah.
flying.
Oh, nice.
My whole
Oh
life
my
is
gosh,
ruined.
that's amazing. Oh yeah. You did. You did it to yourself. You will never fly economy. You're like after you being in business, there's no way I could even put you there.
That's
So
right. Okay, before we get out of here, please shout out all your socials, all your business contacts,
yes.
everything. Let's get people and some traffic over to you.
Yeah, perfect. So we mainly are on Instagram. That's our main platform. So we are storied, STORIED .travel is how you'll find us. Actually on TikTok as well. That's how we are. We are on Facebook if you're without the dot. So storied, STORIED travel. Our number is 1-800-566-7574. And then you can always email hello@storiedtravel.com.
Perfect. Well, again, you've been super generous with your time. This was a super interesting conversation. I really appreciate you doing this
Yes, I
for
love
me.
this.
And I
No
will
problem.
be in touch soon to let you know when this comes out and all that good stuff. But thank you again.
Yes. Thank you, James. It was great. I had a great
Same. And I hope you have a great day.
time. You too. Thanks. Bye
Thanks. Bye
bye.
bye. I don't really prepare for these well because I like it to be, real natural. I like to be off the cuff, just in the moment. I
Right.
don't like to over prepare. So I just kind of come up with the whole flow of the show as we go and just carry it as a natural conversation as much as possible. And so, there's times where it slows down and then it's on me. So you're doing good.
Okay.
This is
All
it's
right.
not a big
Cool.
show yet, but hopefully it'll get.
We'll get there. We'll
Yeah,
get
yeah.
there.
So
How's Sarah, by the way?
she's doing well. She's
Excellent.
just working and waiting to go on our next big trip,
Yeah,
which
Japan.
you will be a part of.
It's
Okay.
actually it's a good time to go to Japan. It's very cost effective. The dollar's very strong against the yen.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll discuss that.
Just to keep in mind. Yeah, that's another conversation.
Okay.